we're on a different topic now, bro. We don't want to keep hurting your feelings.
Spence, you already know.
Benavidez plant. My man here got Benavidez. I got Benavidez. You got Benavidez, right?
I like you said, I like Plant on
I like
bro.
Plant
My
too.
heart is saying Plant.
Me
man.
too.
Yeah, we're on the same boat. It's
My
an emotional
heart-
thing, yeah.
But the mind's more powerful. my mind is off.
He became Bruce Lee.
Yeah, out of nowhere. Welcome back to another episode of Still. Thank y'all for viewing and subscribing. If you haven't yet, please subscribe. The best is yet to come. I'm Andrew Garcia. This is Nelson Garcia. And today's guest is someone I respect very much. He's been covering boxing for a very long time. One of my favorite boxing journalists with over 27 million views on YouTube. The founder of TRU SCHOOL SPORTS, Brendan Taylor, man.
Great to be here, man. And still.
I appreciate it, man, for being out here, man. We're the new guys, man. You've been around for a long time. So.
Young OG.
The young OG.
And really important, he's a Florida boy.
Yeah.
Daniel Beach in the building, you know?
Oh,
But are you really a Florida boy? Because we heard outside he's from somewhere else.
Well, my dad was in the Army. I was born on the base. But we moved here when I was like 2, so.
All right.
Yeah, he's a Florida boy, dog.
Florida boy.
He's legit with it. Fuck it.
Raised down
Broward
here.
County public education system, you know, product of that, you know.
Dania Beach.
Dania Beach, yeah.
Dania Beach, man. Yeah, I remember that one back in the day when I used to follow you and stuff. You always had Dania Beach on your social media.
Absolutely.
And stuff. So I know you used to train at Canino's, you said, right?
Yeah, Bonnie Canino's gym, the only gym in the area, really.
Yeah. I spoke to her not too long ago. I said I was going to go out there and train. I haven't kept my word, but I'm going to slide through.
Gotta go. It's a great place.
We should go together.
We'll go. Make a whole day out of it. Make a video out of it.
For sure.
Yeah.
No, we should and we could, yeah.
About.
But did you watch last night's fights?
I did, yeah.
You did?
Ryder and Parker and Prograis Zepeda. Great fights. John Ryder, man. I mean, I'm a big fan of him because like they don't give him the credit he deserves, and he's always up against it. But he went in there and he proved that he once again is one of the most underrated fighters in his weight class. He'll probably fight Canelo next. Disappointing performance from Zach Parker because there's been a lot of hype in the UK with him. Prograis now the two-time champion.
2-time.
And now he'll get the fights because for years, like the last 3 years, nobody's called his name. He's kind of just been frozen out and forgotten about.
Super inactive.
Yeah.
One fight a year, really.
Mm-hmm. So now he's in great position because now he could either fight the Taylor Catterall winner or he could fight one of the bigger names from 35 that come up or T.O. You know, there's a lot of great fights out there for him.
Yeah. I mean, I see it happening with either Teofimo or Jose Ramirez because I don't think that Josh Taylor's going to fight at 140 again.
Yeah.
I think he's done.
He looked pretty weight drained the last fight.
And he looked terrible. And Regis is not somebody you want to come half-assed with,
No.
You know what I mean?
It's a serious fight.
That fight with Josh Taylor was pretty damn close. And that was Josh Taylor at his best.
Yeah, and he's not that.
And if he's not at his best, I can see Regis pulling it off.
Where would you rank Prograis at 140 right now?
Yeah, that's a good question because he doesn't tick too highly.
No?
I do, but you have
Why not?
Teofimo, you have Jose Ramirez. I don't know.
I would
Josh
say
Taylor.
he's always been like 1B to Taylor's 1A. I like Taylor's the 1. So he beat 2. Because the only guy he lost to was Taylor, and you can't fault the guy's the undisputed champion, and he didn't lose to him the way Jose Ramirez lost to him. Jose Ramirez got schooled by Josh Taylor.
Dropped.
You got dropped.
Twice.
So I would say he's number 2. I think if Regis fights Jose
Styles
Ramirez,
make fights though. That's gonna be a fire fight if they fight.
be a great fight. I think that's gonna be Jose's last fight if they fight.
Damn,
Oh.
it's
Yeah.
a good one. Okay.
Damn.
Yeah,
Like that though.
his last fight. That'll be his last fight.
Damn.
Last fight because he's gonna get hurt.
Very badly. Yeah.
Oh, damn.
It's a bold prediction right there.
I actually don't think so, man. I don't
No?
think so. I do agree that I do think Prograis would win that fight, but I don't think that he would really hurt Jose Ramirez like how you say he will.
Why not?
Because styles make fights, and I think that Jose's Mexican style would pose a lot of problems for Regis. Regis on his back foot wasn't looking great yesterday, but on his front foot when he was coming forward or going on angles, he was doing great.
They're gonna both have to collide.
I think Jose Ramirez would be the aggressive fighter in that fight. I think he'll push him back.
Yeah.
And he's bigger, naturally
A lot bigger.
than Regis.
The reason why I think he's gonna get beat up is because Jose Ramirez has always been a left hook dominant fighter. So if you take away the left hook, he becomes very, very limited. He's not like even though he had a good amateur background, he doesn't really show
Display
those
it. He
skills,
doesn't.
you know. So I just think Regis is gonna be able to punch in between that left hook and things like that, counter him.
Jose will have to develop that right hand that night. He's gonna have to do something about that southpaw right there.
And he's got to deal with the feints because Regis can feint. He can double feint. He can step off. He does a lot of subtle things.
And he has a great jab himself.
Absolutely.
Very fast jab, and the fidgety movement, that awkward head movement will give anybody problems, including Teofimo Lopez.
Yeah.
So that's another fight. If Jose Ramirez doesn't, that's a
tough one.
That's tough one
because Tio is very explosive and he's a great athlete, but there's questions about can he deal with boxers. I mean, we're gonna find out a little bit with this next fight with the Spaniard, Sandor Martin, but Prograis versus Tio, that's one where I might lean slightly towards Regis right now.
Damn.
What you think?
So Regis for sure is your top guy.
Outside of Taylor, he's my guy. That's my top guy.
Well, Taylor, let's say, future reference, Taylor moves up to 47. You got Regis as
Regis
the number
slots
guy.
in at 1, yeah, for me.
So does BoxRec.
Yeah.
But you asked me about Tio and Regis. Who do I got? I told you, I think it's a 50-50 fight.
Mm-hmm.
I'll lean towards Tio.
If he's 100% there mentally.
That's the big question. We don't know. That's how do you measure that?
How do you know? How do you know?
We don't know. He could say all the right things until the lights come on, and we don't know.
I think he's great, man. I just feel that his mental game, unfortunately, for whatever reasons outside of the ring, it's not there. That's probably might hurt his career. We don't know yet because he's still early on in his career, but that might impose a lot of things, a lot of questions in the future if he can deal with it mentally.
Such a gifted fighter. I hope he gets it together because I don't want him to be one of those guys that peak too early because it's hard to go from he became champion so young. He beat Lomachenko. I mean, he was on top of the world. He was the first guy from that new generation to get a big win like that. So he was on top of the world, and then he as quickly as he rose, he fell.
He fell.
So now we're gonna see what he's made of.
He was actually the face during that time.
He
beat Loma. He was the face out of all the young guys.
Because nobody wanted to fight Loma. Everybody was avoiding him. I don't give a fuck what
The
anybody
only two people that were really calling Loma was Tio and Devin Haney.
Yeah.
Those are the only two guys.
David Haney too, and shout out to him too. He's with it too.
Yeah, Devin won't fight anybody.
Yeah, he's the top guy.
I wasn't always a Devin fan either like that. Like I wasn't a big fan of his, but I think he's made me respect him over time.
Yeah, I think he deserves that.
Yeah. And then I seen him in Vegas like train. I seen how he works, and these guys one of the most disciplined fighters.
I think back to that fight we were talking about, it keeps lingering in my head. I think Tio would catch him with a right uppercut.
Prograis?
Mm-hmm. I see Prograis, the way he throws that jab, it's the same jab over and over. And like I told you back then, it was that angle. He has his head in a downwards position, man. It's open for an uppercut. Zepeda landed one really nice yesterday, but it wasn't able to catch him flush on the chin. But Tio being a master at what he does, because he really is. When he's on, he is a sharpshooter. And that right uppercut landed with the southpaw he fought, Magdaleno.
Yeah.
It landed real well, and I can see that happening with Regis.
And he's got those reflexes too, because a lot of times the reason why Regis beats guys up is because he's the guy with the better reflexes and he's a southpaw. But that wouldn't really be the case with Tio, so maybe Tio could offset some of that with what he has.
Right.
I think if Tio was 100%, he's the number one at 140. I don't know, man. What he did to Loma, man, at 23 years old, that says a lot.
Greatness.
There's questions to be answered.
And how he did it. Yeah, there's a lot of people, Lomachenko wasn't 100%. But that's bullshit, because I'm pretty sure Teofimo wasn't 100% either. So that shit goes out the door. And
that's true, though.
Nobody's 100%.
No fighters are ever 100%. There's always some type of injuries that they have low-key, And
if you want to talk about the mental aspect of not being 100%, Teofimo was going through a lot in that camp, not being able to see his kid. And look, he went in there and he did, what he did. He became fucking champion. Yeah. So if you want to go on that route, people are saying, he had a lot of things. Well, Teofimo was going through a lot of things too.
And he got the job done. It's a results-based business, like I was telling Andrew earlier.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Teofimo, man, come on, man, dog. He's a Florida boy too,
Florida,
man. Come on, man.
Davey Powell.
You already know.
Yeah,
Powell. I'm not gonna lie. That's one thing that he doesn't really shout out Florida like that. That's one thing that I hate because
he really.
I was just telling him about that earlier because I met Tio for the first time, which is crazy, last year because we have we've been in the same rooms or know the same people. We never met until last year, and I asked him, I'm like, man, why are you always talking this Brooklyn stuff, man?
He's from Florida. He's from Pembroke Pines out there, Broward. He's a Broward boy.
Yeah, and he was kind of like, he kind of feels some type of way, I guess, about how people treated him or whatever. I don't know. I don't know the whole story.
But the roots, though, the roots were here.
Yeah,
he started the roots here.
The raising was here. Yeah. He was born in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
But the raising was here.
The raising.
His
the
boxing, the fighter is South Florida.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. I saw him at every single show I ever went to. That kid fought consistently at every amateur show. The only amateur fight I'm going to put a name out there that was really giving him issues here in South Florida was Neslan Machado.
Oh, yeah.
You know him?
Yeah.
He was fired.
He was giving him issues.
But look what happened with his career. He really hasn't, progressed.
But like Brendan said, it doesn't matter the past. It's the day, the
future,
night. The night of the fight
fight
is really what matters. And Teofimo has showed up every time except that one moment with George Kambosos.
It is what it is.
That wasn't a fluke fight.
And if it's that guy that shows up against Regis, he won't last 12.
No, that's gonna end before 8 rounds.
Yeah.
I think he matured though. I think he learned his lesson. You can't, surpass anybody. You have to be on your game.
I'm kind of like wait and see with him right now because like he had the fight against the Mexican Pedro Campa, but like that was a tailor-made opponent for him.
Right.
So I think this next fight against Sandor Mara, it will tell us a little bit more, and then from there he can take another step up.
And to be honest, he didn't. In my opinion, to my eyes, he didn't look invincible against Pedro Campa.
No,
he didn't look that star that we've seen in the past. I didn't really necessarily see that. I did see him though as the rounds progressed, his old self coming back out.
He was having fun. The later rounds he was having
fun. He started letting go of some heavy hands and connecting.
Could have been some ring rust, so that's what I'm saying. We have to wait and see.
Or some self-doubt.
Yeah.
Self-doubt, because that's what I thought it was in the first 3 rounds. I thought it was self-doubt. That's what I saw. A whole lot of self-doubt because you could even tell that he was like he wanted to let go, but he was just like, huh.
Also, too, his last fight with Kambosos, him having that air in his chest.
Yeah.
That also plays a big role, too, mentally.
Facts. Him
being so young as well, too. I know people say, you're giving him too many excuses that he's young, but it's true. He's young. He hasn't been through a lot in the fight game. So, him coming to that fight, knowing that he had that air in his chest, that he could have died, supposedly, according to the doctors, etc. That says a lot of things, too, man. He can be gun shy.
So, psychologically, he's still working his way back,
Facts.
And again, he's young, man. He has a long future ahead of him. If he's 100% mentally, bro, I think he takes over the world, bro.
No, he has the potential to do that. It's just we don't know because psychologically.
Exactly.
I acknowledge that T.O. is a great fighter. One of the best out there.
For sure.
Yeah, as far as talent goes, he's up there.
And he can punch. He's fast.
Yeah.
Fast reflex.
Great reflexes. Freak athlete.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's one of the only fighters in boxing I feel like he's actually I feel like sometimes I should have to pay to watch him work out because it's actually like a show. Like he puts on a show when he works out. Like
the jump rope, everything. It's special.
Yeah,
it's special.
Yeah, now he's an entertaining guy. I told you I sparred him before the Olympics 2016, and
how was that sparring like, dog?
Yeah.
I mean, like I told you in the car, I was really boxing most of the time, using my footwork. Me being the taller guy, I was at 140 at the time, but you can tell that he doesn't like people moving much.
Yeah.
He just doesn't like that. He doesn't like the boxers like that. So
it's not his thing.
The Regis fight will be a good fight for him because Regis is not known for running. Really, he's not going to run.
He's going to be in the park with you.
He has great footwork, though. We spoke about it. It's funky. It's funny sometimes.
Regis' it's kind of awkward, right?
Everything
awkward,
about Regis is kind of awkward. The head movement, his rhythm is mad awkward.
The feints.
That's what creates his openings. The feints. That's how he caught Zepeda yesterday with that big left hand.
Did you guys see, talking about Zepeda, that he had a big accident 2 weeks before the fight?
No, he did.
Yeah.
No, that wasn't a fluke. He did.
But you knew about that before the fight?
The car accident, yeah.
I didn't know that shit before the fight. I knew after when Lotto Boxing, he put that shit up. I was like, oh, shit.
No, they had put it up like a week or two ago.
Oh, I didn't
Yeah,
know.
he missed the media workout because of that. It happened on that day.
You think, I don't want to give excuses, but you think maybe that played a factor in him losing last night?
No.
I don't know. Obviously, I just want to know your take.
No, I think he fought as well as he could have fought in the fight because, like, I'll be honest, I was surprised. The one thing that surprised me about Zepeda is I've seen him fight a bunch, but I didn't realize, like, he was quicker. Like, I didn't think he would have as much success countering Regis as he did, but he was able to. And when he hit, the couple of times he really hit Regis flush, Regis was buzzed, and Regis really had to, like, grind it out and show that he had a chin. So that was probably the biggest surprise, but now I think the fight went almost about how I thought it would go.
Yeah, lopsided, basically.
I agree. Yeah, we spoke about it. We thought that Regis would win, but Zepeda being as hard of a hitter as he is, Regis' chin surprised me.
Yeah.
Because there was one left hand that it was like in an exchange that he got caught, and I was surprised how quick he recuperated. Like, you can tell, like you said, he was buzzed at the moment, but he recuperated real quick. I just don't like that when he gets clipped, he like comes a little crazy.
He gets wild in there.
Some other guys can capitalize on that.
Who, Regis? On Regis, yeah.
Like when he got clipped, when he got clipped by Zepeda, like you can tell like he'll come back, like he wanted to hit you back, and he did, but it was a little weird the way he would, come at you and stuff, a little open. So somebody like Teofimo can capitalize.
Hopefully they just fight him now. Now that he has a belt, hopefully they fight him because for 3 years he couldn't get fights.
Yeah, I think it's more realistic that Jose Ramirez gets that fight first, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because Jose, I believe,
he was supposed to fight Zepeda.
Yeah, but no, at the convention, at the WBC convention, he was ruled the first or the second mandatory because they ruled 2 mandatories. Right. I can't remember if he was the first or the second, but I know he's in line to fight for that belt, and we just got it now. So,
man, all those mandatory shit are so confusing for the sport, bro. That's just
politics.
That's just mad whack, bro.
100%.
But I don't want to go too far on that. I want to go back to the fight with
like the fight the fighter that you were really going all off on social media.
Yeah, it was
John Ryder,
yeah.
And Parker. I'm gonna be honest. After that first round of Parker, I thought Parker was gonna take it. I really did. He looked good that first round, but dude, John Ryder really his aggression paid off.
The pressure and like the physicality. He's one of the most physical fighters in that weight class, and he's gotten better. Like he had some tough losses early in his career. Like he fought Billy Joe Saunders for the British title. That was a close fight. He lost, but he was in the fight.
Right.
I was surprised the fight ended the way it did, just because I didn't think Zach Parker was gonna go in there and kind of like quit, because that's what he did the first time he did felt any pressure. But I thought Parker would get out to a good start, and then like rounds 4 through like 7, Ryder pick it up, and that's what was happening. He was starting to piece him up. I didn't like Parker's body language, because if you remember like round 3 and 4 when Ryder started hitting with the power jabs, the way he was wincing and grimacing, I'm like, he barely got touched yet. Why are you reacting this way to punches?
Yeah, no, he was uncomfortable.
Yeah,
John Ryder was making him uncomfortable. Even when he had him on the ropes, you can tell the way he was grabbing real quick. Like he was uncomfortable, and I think that the shots of John Ryder were hurting him.
Mm-hmm. And this is a guy in Parker that was supposed to fight and Demetrius Andrade earlier this year, and a lot of people thought he was going to beat Andrade, which I thought was ridiculous. But you
like him a lot, huh?
Who?
Boo Boo?
Yeah, I mean, not
you criticize him a lot.
I do now. I mean, because he deserves it right now. But no, as far as Boo Boo the boxer, he's one of the best boxers out there.
He's sharp. I just don't see him beating the top guys like Canelo. I see Canelo stopping him.
He would have beat Canelo.
I gotta disagree.
You think he would have beat him?
He would have beat him.
How do you? I mean. Yeah, he can box him maybe, but can he hold that pressure for 12 rounds?
The thing is,
the Canelo pressure, he would have got us respect like that.
The thing is that I like complete fighters, and Canelo's not really a complete fighter, and I can see Andrade giving him problems with the footwork.
Yeah, the thing is, like,
for 12 rounds.
Yeah, for 12 rounds.
For 12 rounds,
he's very good at like getting his head out the center line and punching. Like the angles he takes to throw punches is just not. You can't prepare for it in the gym.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna have to side with Nelson on this one, and I never do. I do think Canelo would beat him. I never do.
No, we do more. We go on.
Sometimes. But yeah. I do think Canelo would beat him, but we'll never know.
We'll never know. I mean, they had a couple chances to fight, like at 154 back in the day when Andrade was champion. Canelo fought Kirkland when he had the belt.
You know what I think? I think Canelo should take a fight as a little tune-up, because I think it'll be a tune-up for Canelo.
What?
Boo Boo.
You think Boo Boo's a tune-up? He's not a tune-up for anybody.
He's not a tune-up.
I think it's a tune-up, bro.
No, he's a tough fight for anyone. He's a tough fight.
You're in for a really bad surprise.
I think Canelo stops him, man.
I mean, I'm not saying that I think Boo Boo beats Canelo. I just don't think Boo Boo is
and his pop isn't even there like that.
He doesn't have. But he's not known for that. He's a boxer.
It's there. Them first 4.5 rounds is there. If you watch most of his fights, he normally drops somebody in the first 4 rounds.
It's respected. It's a respected.
You can't just run up on him.
But he's not a knockout puncher, that one hitter guy.
But
I just feel
knockout
Canelo,
punchers don't beat Canelo. Floyd wasn't a knockout puncher.
Facts.
Bivol hasn't had a knockout since Sullivan Barrera.
Facts.
That was years ago. So
100%.
Yeah, if you're great in the other departments of boxing and your power is just good enough, you can beat Canelo.
You just brought up a good point, Bivol.
Yeah.
What do you think about Bivol and Canelo, the rematch at 168?
I don't think Canelo deserves rematch Bivol. He lost 10 rounds or more.
But hey, he's a cash cow. He's a cash cow. So.
I want undisputed at 175. I want Beterbiev versus Bivol. That's me.
What I want.
That's the fight.
That's the fight.
I got Bivol.
Yeah, right now I'll be a Bivol. Bivol. Like that's like the best pure boxer in the sport versus like the best knockout artist now.
Yeah, no, 100%. And it's exactly how you said it. It's exactly what it is, because Bivol is really that pure boxer, and Beterbiev is that pure puncher. That's really what they do. Beterbiev got some skills to him though. His technical wise, he's good. But yeah, no, the footwork of Bivol is going to give him mad problems.
I seen Beterbiev fight Joe Smith in person. That he's one of the best fighters I've ever seen in person, and I've seen most of these guys fight in person. He's the combinations he has, the strength, he's smarter than people give him credit for. Like Beterbiev is a great. Yeah, that's the only thing.
And he had a lot of amateur fights.
He did.
He got a lot of miles on him.
He beat Usyk one time in the amateurs. He dropped them. And like they fought 3 times. He won once, and he dropped them in another one of their fights. So
that power's real.
Yeah, it's real. There. Like I know 2 people that have sparred him. And they say like he's just sending these dudes home. It's a bloodbath in training camp.
Hey, I have a question regarding you, man. So, how long have you been doing this boxing journalism for?
So, I started September of 2015. The first fight I ever covered was the Shannon Briggs had a fight. He had a fight down here at the Hard Rock. He fought a guy named Michael Marone.
Let's go, champ.
Let's go, champ.
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah.
That was the first fight I covered. So it's been 7 years. 2015.
What made you fall in love with the sport? What was it that what hit you?
So most people don't know this about me. So my father, my dad, he didn't compete either, but because he grew up like a foster home and whatnot. So his mom wouldn't let him box, but he grew up in Massachusetts. I don't know if you guys have seen the movie The Fighter with Mickey Ward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course.
Okay, the gym that movie was shot at, there's a gym called Art Romalo's boxing gym in Lowell, Massachusetts. My dad used to train there when he was a young man, when he was a kid. And then, so I guess you could say it's always been in my DNA. And then, like when I was 6 years old, my dad put me in front of the TV and we watched Bernard Hopkins versus Trinidad. That was 2001, and I became a fan. I was kind of like when I was younger, when I was a kid, I was like a casual fan. I liked other sports as well, like baseball, basketball, hockey, whatever. Right. But yeah, I think for me, I kept up the sport my entire life, but like it really took on a different meaning when I was 19 and I started boxing because at that time I had a lot of things going on in life and I needed some direction, so I started going to the boxing gym. So I went to Canino's, and then around that time, I was like, why don't I cover boxing? And then I just kind of never looked back.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
How long did you train at Canino's for?
About 2-3 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. What's really your goal though with your channel? What's really your...
My goal, I would say, is just to be a good ambassador for the sport, because when I got into covering boxing, I felt like there weren't like... I don't feel like there was good boxing coverage, to be honest. Like, I mean, there's people that I admire, like shout out to Ellie Sekbacks and the Boxing Voice and these kind of guys. But like for the most part, I always felt like I still don't think boxing was being covered properly. So that's my goal, to cover the sport properly, and not just that. Once I got into it, my other part of why I got into boxing is to cover the South Florida fighter, because I feel like we have a lot of good fighters here. Yeah. And oftentimes they get overlooked because they say, South Florida is just a vacation spot. And I'm like, y'all ever been to Liberty City? You ever been to the slums? Yeah, it ain't just palm trees and sunshine. Facts. There's a lot of tough people that come from this place and a lot of good fighters. And you talk about look at Glenn Johnson. He fought Roy Jones, knocked him out. Teofimo, who's doing this thing right now. Xander Zayas is another one from the Dade Pal. There's killers from South Florida. Eric Slubin from Orlando. Shout out to him. Steve Gaffard, Lorenz Medina, who I know you guys had here. There's so much talent here. So I felt like since I got into boxing, covering it's always been a big priority and responsibility for me to cover the South Florida fighters.
No, I mean, and you've done a damn good job at it, man. What, from professional to amateur, you've covered it all.
Yeah, I've done. Thank you. I try my best, man.
No, but that's super cool, man. That you've really like stuck through as well, because all these years, man, going to amateur shows, pro shows. It's pretty damn cool, man. You can tell you invest a lot of time into your channel.
Oh, absolutely. And like, there's been so many times where I've just wanted to stop covering boxing, because like sometimes things don't progress as fast as you'd like, and you want we're in the instant gratification era, the Instagram era, we want to be here. So yeah, I've always had to tell myself like, hey, you may not get there as quick as other people, but once you get there, your name's gonna stay there longer because you really put the time in. Yeah. Longevity.
Well, how many views you have? 28 million views on
28,
YouTube?
Yeah.
That's a lot, bro.
That's big time.
Thank you.
Impressive.
Yeah.
When I gave your introduction, I said 27 million views. I was like, damn, he's gonna tell me something.
No.
So get it right. What was the fight though that you saw that, damn, I love this sport? Like, what was that fight that you saw? Like, damn, I love this sport.
I can't say it was really one. It was a combination of fights. So I would say Hopkins versus Trinidad sparked the love, because if you remember, that was the first fight after 9/11, and they had it at Madison Square Garden, and Hopkins came out with the execution mask on. So that was cool, because I was a big wrestling fan, and everybody was booing him. So I thought, I didn't know nothing about boxing when I watched that fight. So I thought it was the coolest thing ever. But that fight, Pacquiao Cotto was another one. Cotto, Claudio. I used to watch a lot of Cotto fights. My family up north is Puerto Rican. So I used to be with them a lot, and we would always gather for the Cotto fights.
You're Puerto Rican?
Yeah, Puerto Rican, Dominican, Cuban.
Oh, yeah. The 3 bloodlines.
Yeah.
The Caribbean blood.
Yeah.
That's crazy that you mentioned Pacquiao, because now that, not now, but once I really, really got good and I was fighting and all that, I really didn't like Pacquiao's style, but Pacquiao's actually the person that really got me into the sport.
Yeah.
People don't know.
Pacquiao? Was Pacquiao?
Yeah, it was crazy. And I'm not really crazy about him, but people don't know this about me, but I actually went first to the boxing gym when I was 10 years old.
Okay.
It was called Westside Boxing Gym in Hialeah. That gym already closed down.
Okay.
But that was the first time I went to a boxing gym, and I was like, fuck that. That's too much work, man. I've been doing push-ups. And I was like 11.
Yeah.
I was like probably 11, actually. And I was like, bro, that's way too much work, man. Push-ups and hitting the bag and pads.
Sit-ups,
I was like,
crutches.
shit ain't for me, man. I'm going to go back to playing Call of Duty or some shit.
That's right.
But then when I was like 14 years old, I started high school, and, I was like, damn, my grandpa. And then I started watching Pacquiao fights with him. I was like, yeah. I think now is the time.
This guy's legit,
Yeah. So it was Pacquiao. But Pac-Man was that guy, man.
Yeah, I loved Manny.
Biggest entertainer.
The in and out style, the friggin' the left hand, and he dipped under the he dipped under the left hand.
Yeah.
For me, it was the opposite, though. For me, the first fight that I saw was Mayweather versus De La Hoya. That fight, I was like, whoa. I was still young, though.
Well, De La Hoya was who I used to watch when I was a little kid, but he's not really the one that made me want to start fighting and competing.
But the fight that really wanted me, like, damn, I really want to do this shit. You guys are not going to believe it.
Who?
You want to hear it?
It
was a good fight. Victor Ortiz versus Andre Berto.
That's a great fight.
That was an amazing fight.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's other fights, that.
Yeah,
but that fight, I was like, whoa.
But I can understand, because it was like knockdown after knockdown.
I saw that shit live on my dad. I was like, yo, I want to do this shit. And then, like 2 weeks later, I started the boxing gym and whatever. But yeah, that fight was a good fucking fight.
It was.
And Andre Berto being from Florida.
Another
as well.
Florida boy, yeah.
Another Florida boy.
Yeah.
Florida boy. Man,
talking about that, that's crazy, because I think Ortiz at that time, bro, he was gonna be up there, but unfortunately, things didn't go his way. But I was really high on Victor Ortiz.
Well, sometimes it happens, man. You get these talented fighters with the undefeated record, and they get put in tough, like Zach Parker yesterday, and they get tested, and they don't have what you thought they had.
The thing that Victor Ortiz lacked was his heart.
Well, you can't teach heart, man.
Can't teach heart. You're born with it.
You can't measure it either. You know,
facts. But it's not only heart; it's also your mental, man. If you ain't there mentally, man.
I think that Mayweather knockout killed him. Like that was like his downfall.
He had a few downfalls in his career.
But that was his main one. And then Josecito Lopez came, broke his jaw.
Yeah.
That shit kind of killed him too.
That one really messed him up.
I think that was the one. He quit on his stool. A lot of people, I mean, I get it, man. We're fight fans. We're like hard to criticize. Oh, he quit. He's a scumbag. He should have been a man. But when you're but it's true. But when you're in there taking those punches, it's a different story.
Yeah, I know. I know what you mean, man. Because every now and then I gotta get in there just to remind my damn self. Like BT, you gotta get in the ring so you understand this pain. So I got in there recently. I was doing some sparring, as you saw on Instagram. Shout out to my boy Luis Hernandez.
Because most people know you as TRU School Sports on YouTube. What's your Instagram though?
Just a kid from Dania.
Just a kid from Dania.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was doing some sparring down there at Extreme Bodyworks, this gym in Homestead, around pretty close to where I stay at. It's they got some good fighters there, and this kid Lewis, he's just putting that pressure. He don't stop coming. He could box, and I remember I was huffing and puffing after a couple rounds. I said, man, you gotta freaking get your conditioning up.
Yeah, you better stay in the gym.
Absolutely,
that's the only way.
Yeah, otherwise you fall off quick.
Boxing is tough, man. Any combat sport is tough.
But back to what you said about that, the fans don't really understand what the fighters go through and all that. I get that, but to a certain extent, you know what you're signing up for. You gotta have the heart to continue, man, into battle, because this is what you're doing. You're in a battle. So don't give me none of that bullshit about...
I agree 100%, man, but at the end of the day, when you have your jaw broken and it's fucking, your mouth is open...
You don't stop, bro.
Yeah,
that's part of
and I get it, but...
That's why you're on the podcast and you let dump fight. Those guys, they got to go through that, bro. How many fighters haven't fought with a broken hand, broken jaw, and actually won?
Yeah.
It's true.
It's like Chris Eubank Sr., he always talk about the Warrior's Code. I listen to that all the time, the Warrior's Code, where like... He says, we are not you. We can't be normal. Because, like, he had some of these fighters, he said it best. He had a fight against Carl Thompson where he had his eye was swelling. He was getting beat up so bad he wanted to literally piss himself. But you had to find a way to grind it out. Because if you don't find a way to grind it out, people may say, oh, well, you live to fight another day. But then guess what? You get forgotten about. But the one that perseveres, those are the ones that get remembered. And those are the ones that people look to for the inspiration.
Yeah, no, 100%, man.
It's true.
I agree.
But there's a quote that Mayweather says, something about when you're in the hospital bed, ain't nobody gonna pay your bills.
That's true.
And going back, I get it. At the end of the day, these fighters, that's what they sign up for, and they gotta, like you said, the legacy and all that stuff. But it's true what they say too. When you get hit and you're in that hospital bed, the only people that are gonna be there is your family. But and even that, because some family members might, sell you out. But the fans, when it's long, when it's done,
I understand that.
He says that in the sense of saying hit and don't get hit, box so you don't end up in the hospital. But I'm 100% sure if Mayweather got clipped and had a broken jaw and was winning that fight, he is not quitting.
And I agree.
Because the legacy is everything to him, and that heart and
because part of his legacy is what? He's never lost a fight.
Exactly.
That's an invincibility factor.
Exactly.
And I understand with that too, and I get it 100%. But you also have to respect, when people are getting their jaws broken and they can't continue, you gotta feel for like that. I can understand why.
No,
I don't.
And most of those fans that are criticizing are there fat as fuck on the couch eating potato chips.
Yeah, bro, but those fans are paying him.
I respect anybody who gets in the ring, but all I'm saying is like the ones who persevere through those circumstances, those are the ones that are gonna be the ones that are applauded. I don't think it's right when fans call fighters bums, even if a guy could be 6'95". I don't give a damn. He got in that ring over 100 times. You better show some appreciation.
Yeah. But that let's put that's a little. But what I really hate is these guys that are real tested gatekeepers or journeymen, and they're calling them bums. That's very disrespectful.
Yeah, I agree. These guys like Darnell Boone, Darnell Boone.
Of course,
yeah,
bro.
yeah.
It was tough. Dropped Andre Ward, man. But even guys like Gabriel Rosado that have successful careers, but they just can't beat the A+ guys. He ain't no bum. He will fuck you up.
Yeah,
he would.
Yeah, well,
Gabriel Rosado could fight.
Yeah, Gabriel Rosado. I mean, even the guys like the dude just died from Philadelphia, Buster Drayton, the IBF champion in the 80s. He was 40-15, and they used to use him for tune-up fights for the top guys. But then eventually he became champion, and he defended the belt twice. And you gotta respect those kind of guys. Yeah. I respect those guys the most.
Yeah, I mean, boxing is one of the most disrespectful sports in the world, though, for sure.
A loss is unforgivable. You can't lose, but it's not really about losing. It's how you lose a fight. Yeah, that's more important to me. How did you lose the fight?
100%. And if you lost like Zach Parker, then maybe you can talk some shit.
Yeah.
But if you lost in a tough fight, I mean, that's not a loss to me.
But that only happens in boxing, because in MMA you lose. Okay, no shit talking, no bashing. But in boxing, one loss, that's say he's a bum, he's garbage, he was tailor-made.
That's true, bro.
That hurts the sport. And also, you know what's one thing that hurts the sport too, I think too, man? Those pay-per-view fights. Like last night, you had to pay $60 to watch that fight. That was bullshit. You agree or no?
No, I mean, 100%.
You agree?
Of course. I mean, it's happening everywhere.
If it's Spence Crawford, man, I'll pay $100.
Yeah.
And you can pay that. But $60 for last night, that's ridiculous. That's.
I mean, and it's one of many on a long laundry list of unnecessary pay-per-views. Like we had a Barrios Thurman pay-per-view, Charles Martin Lewis Ortiz pay-per-view,
horrible.
Andy Ruiz Lewis Ortiz pay-per-view. I mean, come on.
Horrible.
Come on.
That's ridiculous. And yesterday, Regis Zepeda was a great fight, but it wasn't supposed to be a pay-per-view.
And also, then the fight starts at 12:30, almost 1 o'clock at night.
Yeah,
that's also a big downfall too.
Because they're on the West Coast, yeah.
So, man, boxing needs to change, man. They need to get some notes from the UFC, because the UFC right now is thriving.
Hey, let's get some game real quick from the champ right here.
Okay.
From the man.
He's a Wikipedia right here from back in the day, for sure. Yeah.
Forget about that. I want to ask him a personal question for you and I.
Oh, yeah. I know you're going to get to it. Let's do it.
No, not Spence Crawford.
I was ready to
I'm going to torture you later. What advice do you have for guys like him and I, that we have this channel and stuff? You have videos with upwards of 4 million views. What advice do you have for us to get our viewership up, our subscribers? What advice you got to give us?
The best advice I could possibly give is try to develop a connection with your audience as much as possible, because if they feel like the more they feel like they know you, the more inclined they'll be to tune in to your actual channel. It sounds cliche also, but you have to remain consistent, because there's been times, there's even not right now, I'm like, man, you got F YouTube, all this stuff, but you have to always grind it out, because if you don't, then you're just gonna set yourself back more. So just that, and just always try to figure out ways to push the channel forward. I mean, YouTube is so different now than when I started on YouTube, because now YouTube they got shorts, they got lives, they got super chats. They didn't have none of that stuff when I started YouTube. So you got to find a way to maximize all those shorts. Like even with these lives, like when there's clips, you find the best segments of the live and clip them into shorts. So that way these videos get out to people who aren't already subscribed to the And Still podcast, and then you could add to the And Still podcast empire,
Yeah, I appreciate you, man.
Appreciate that.
Hope that helps,
Jules, man.
Yeah.
No, for sure. I mean, we're gonna soak in whatever you tell us.
Yeah.
You know,
I want to see you guys do well because, like I said, I like the setup. I like what you guys got going on, and you guys are South Florida boys like me, you know. So I want to see South Florida win. You know, I feel like the biggest problem, and this goes for like the promoters here in South Florida, even the fighters many times. I just feel like there's so many. The South Florida boxing community doesn't stick together like it should, and I feel like if we did, we'd have more success. There'd be more shows down here. Fighters to do better in fights, but you know, a lot of times in boxing, it's very ego driven. So people always want to be number one, which is fine. You should always want to strive to be the best, but not at the expense of putting other people down. Just worry about what you got to do.
No, facts.
Talking about that, back in the days, there was a lot of fights here in Miami.
Oh my God,
Alexia Will versus
Pryor,
bro. Like
Joe Louis fought here. Joe Louis fought at the Orange Bowl. Yeah.
This was a hotspot for some big fights back in the day.
I mean,
what do you think changed though?
What do I think changed? Like, I think first the first thing that changed is the television model of boxing changed. Like as we got to the 90s, it went more to like closed circuit television, like Showtime, HBO. That, and I think also there's not as many like training like top fighters don't have their training camps here as much as possible, as much as they did back then. Because back then you had like Duran did training camps here, Sugar Ray did training camps here, Arguello, Muhammad Ali, Fifth Street Gym. I mean, Fifth Street Gym had like the best fighters in the world.
Muhammad Ali was there a few times training, so yeah, no, for sure.
So I feel like all it's gonna take one fighter from South Florida to really pop off and actually like embrace, like no disrespect to Tio, but I'm saying actually like really take it and embrace it like all the way.
So we have a for sure bona fide star here in Florida right now, but he doesn't rep Florida. He reps Puerto Rico.
Talking about Xander? Yeah.
To me, he's gonna be Puerto Rican star.
I mean, they're built. That's what they're building him into. Yeah, he's a very, very good fighter.
I believe, but aside from what they're building him into, I believe in the skills.
What do you think? You think he got it?
I think he has what it takes. I think there's still some things he got to tighten up on.
Like,
I feel like he struggles on the inside a little bit, and sometimes when he throws that hook at mid range, he leaves himself to get countered.
He lunges in too much.
He lunges in with the left hook a little bit, but other than that, you know, he's a pretty damn good fighter.
He's a star, though, yeah.
For his age. You know, I would like him to represent South Florida, but I know he's with the whole Puerto Rican thing, and that's how Top Rank's gonna market him. They don't care about South Florida; they just care about Puerto Rico.
Right. Yeah, but that's what I said. I wish he would rep Florida. You know,
yeah.
Because at the end of the day, this is where he lives, right? So
I guess if anybody watches this, and you guys could clip this part if you want, and you could post this on Instagram. To the South Florida fighters, why don't y'all want to rep? What's so bad about South Florida? So, you know, everybody wants to live here.
That's true.
Facts.
Especially now.
You got the palm trees, you got the beaches,
the tax breaks here in Florida.
The tax breaks.
Girls.
That's probably why some of them be losing their fights, if I'm being honest, is the girls. But yeah, like I just don't get it, man. Like I understand you can be proud of your heritage. That's cool. That's cool. But day in and day out, you're not in Puerto Rico. You in Hialeah, you in Hollywood, you in Boca Raton, you're in Homestead. Rep South Florida.
Yeah, you're putting the work in Florida.
That's what I'm saying. Like
Berto, he was a Florida boy, but he didn't really rep it. Thurman didn't really rep it.
Nah, Berto repped it.
No, Thurman reps it, but he's not from.
He's from Haitian, and he's from more of North.
He's from Clearwater.
So Clearwater.
I don't really count. Like I'm not talking to Thurman. I'm talking to the dudes like, you know, T.O. and Xander and these kind of guys.
Yeah, that were in Broward, Miami-Dade.
Especially T.O. Like I love T.O. So this is not hate.
Nah, Xander too though. Xander too, both of them. I mean, everybody knows I'm a huge fan of Xander. I really think Xander got it. But yeah, I wish they were repping Florida.
Well, now we got some some stars coming up, and they're rising. We have Aaron Aponte. We have Abel Gonzalez. Man.
Yeah,
And he reps Hialeah.
Abel's another one, and Aaron that like I see like Xander are.
You got Lorenzo Medina. You got Eric Tudor, who I really like.
Eric Tudor's good.
You got Dominique Francis, pretty good fighter.
Yeah.
Got a lot of good fighters from Florida. Lawrence 100%. Newton, if he ever gets active again.
Lawrence Newton.
Yeah.
There was this kid too, Marcel Barlier.
Man, yeah.
He's good.
Yeah.
Like I've seen him in person, good.
Yeah, me too.
But man, you gotta be right.
Mental.
You gotta be right mentally, man.
That mental.
But yeah, now Florida got some hitters for real.
Mm-hmm.
But look, I want to hit him real quick. Who you got? Spence Crawford.
Terence Crawford.
No, overall, what do you think about everything that's happening? The fight's not being made.
The business side and all that stuff.
And who do you think is at fault?
So, I used to always say it was just, but I think they both have had a role to play, but I would say like the lion's share of the blame falls on Spence. The reason I say it falls on Spence is because when Crawford was at 140, Crawford always made his intentions clear. He wanted to fight Errol Spence. Errol said, go get a belt. And then he got a belt. And then Errol said he ain't fought nobody. He's on the wrong side of the street. You know, all that type of stuff. Then now Errol's been saying for years, for years, he said he wouldn't fight Keith Thurman. And this fight fell through. And who's he gonna fight? Keith Thurman. Now people want to say, well, Terence was talking to BLK Prime or whatever for the Avanesian fight since June. But he even said it himself. He told them initially that he didn't want the Avanesian fight, but it was in his back pocket if this didn't, of course, happen.
Yeah, you gotta be ready.
You gotta understand too.
It's business.
You gotta understand his position. He's not the PBC fighter. He's the foreigner in this situation. He's the guy coming to Spence. PBC is his backyard, so obviously they're gonna do what's in the best interest of Spence. So Terence he made sure that he had a backup plan in case it fell through, and here we are.
There you go. Not only that,
it doesn't really matter whose fault it is, though. The ones getting screwed over are the fans.
The fans, and at the end of the day, aside from putting so much pressure on the fighters, also the people with their hands in the cookie jar, promoters.
Should be told.
Heyman.
That's really who's at fault.
That's really the problem. That's what I'd be telling him. Stop blaming these damn fighters, man. At the end of the day, these fighters will fight anybody. Of course, they want to protect their own, right? But Al Heyman is really the problem.
Crawford wants to protect his own.
No, you're wrong. But Crawford was calling for Spence before Spencer even said anything about him.
But I agree, though. It's the promoter's fault. I think they want to fight each other.
You got to ask the question: How did Showtime and PBC and all parties involved? How did they have all this money for Jake Paul and Canelo Plant? How did Plant get $10 million, but we can't come up with $10 million for Crawford and $10 million for Spence?
Yeah,
come on. I understand it's a business, but I kind of don't. I also don't understand it either, because while you're telling me it's a business and we gotta be, financially savvy, y'all wasn't financially savvy when you were putting on Luis Ortiz versus Charles Martin on pay-per-view. So why are we not making it happen?
Right. Yeah. No. There's things that I feel like we don't know, to be honest.
Yeah. We're not in the negotiating room.
Because there's things I understand boxing. I understand the backside of boxing, but man, there's things that in this fight, man, it's just dirty. I just don't get it.
There's one thing
why
to
it's
it.
not happening.
Greed. That's it.
Absolutely.
Greed.
Yeah. The lust for power and
I had the more balls than you, and we're gonna do it like this. Who's gonna be the A side? Who's gonna be the B side? It's all greed, bro. It's all. And unfortunately, when that fight, that's if it even happens. It's gonna be too late.
But accept it being the B side, though.
Are you sure about that?
100%.
Yeah, I am too.
100%.
But again, we don't know what goes on. He can say that,
but
we don't know.
Stop with the bullshit.
But it's true though. You just said right now, we don't know what goes on in closed doors.
You're such a Spence fanboy, bro.
No, I'm not. No.
It's disappointing, bro. But whatever. Let's go back to the fight.
We're not in that room.
Let's stop talking about the dirty stuff we have no control over. If the fight happens,
oh come on,
how does Crawford win?
Oh, you know how it's gonna end. It's gonna end the way his last 8 fights have ended, by stoppage. He ain't gone the distance with anybody since the freaking Barack Obama administration.
But again though,
that's my boy right there.
Yeah, he's knocked out his last 8 opponents, but who was his last opponent?
His last opponent was John Porter, the guy Errol Spence didn't stop.
And not only that, the guy that gave Errol Spence a razor thin split decision. If it wasn't for that knockdown, we might not be talking about Spence right now.
That's right,
bro.
That's my guy too. I love. Shout out to Sean Porter.
Yeah, I know you do.
Everybody that Sean Porter fights is an ugly fight.
Yeah.
Regardless of who it is.
100%.
And I think Ugas beat him.
I thought so too.
I thought so too.
I thought you were gonna say something else.
No,
I know. Porter's his boy though, Salas.
No, Porter's good, but he lost. He got.
Yeah, he lost.
That's another thing.
But it was a close fight though. It was a
close fight.
It was a close fight, and I don't really want to call it a robbery either. I think it was just the wrong guy won, but it wasn't a robbery because it wasn't he won by no, it was a close fight.
Well, going back to the fight, so you think Crawford knocks Spence out?
Yeah.
Why? Why do you see that
because
he knocks him out?
I don't know why Errol has these lapses in fights. Like he had it in the Ugas fight. Remember when he kind of looked down and the Ugas hit him with the right hand and the ropes held him up? And then I think it was a Danny Garcia fight. He had another similar thing that happened as well. You can't have those lapses with Crawford. And not even just that. I just think even though he's like you said earlier before we started the show, he's a very technically sound fighter, and the output of that jab is great,
consistent.
But I just think Crawford's gonna time him, and he's gonna hit him with something vicious, and it's Errol Spence. Errol Spence not gonna know what to do with himself.
I just think that, I mean, I've said this so many times I don't want to say it. I just think Crawford adjustments very well. He adapts to his opponent, and yeah, he may not be a fast starter, but after that third round, we always see Crawford adapt and figure it out, man. And I think he's gonna figure out that puzzle. And when he smells blood,
It's a wrap.
it's a wrap.
The
He
thing is,
finishes
I don't
him.
see that he's gonna smell blood in this case.
How do you not?
I think Spence is
If
gonna outbox him.
Ugas, if Ugas was able to put his back on the rope, how do you not see Crawford doing the same or worse?
Because he's gonna come 100% more focused.
So he wasn't 100% for Ugas?
But going back to the fight with
That was best
Ugas,
looking years.
Shit happens. Shit happens in the fight game. I don't think he's gonna make that mistake again.
Okay.
And if it does happen, I think he's gonna recuperate how he does, because he recuperates really fast. And bro,
Well, if it happens the way Ugas' situation happened, his
He'll be
ass
able to
will be
recu-
on the
the
no,
thing
but
is-
his ass will end on the floor, 100%. Because Crawford is not gonna take those 2 seconds to think about why are you not looking at me?
Yeah.
Because Crawford's gonna capitalize on
those
that
two
moment.
shits were too, like they were flukes. They were like kind of weird. But I don't
What?
think it's gonna happen again.
No, the only fluke was what Spence did. Not
Well, yeah,
what happened.
with the mouth guard and then with Danny Garcia
Do
as well.
you guys think maybe he's having these lapses because like those two
accident?
lapses were the accident, maybe because those two lapses happened in fights after the accident.
I don't know why. I just know it's happening.
yeah.
And against somebody like Crawford, that's a problem. But I aside from all these other tangibles, I think it's also the fact that Crawford's feet are faster. He is the better boxer. He's quicker. He is quicker. I think he hits harder than Spence. So many things that I see on Crawford's side. I do think though Crawford has been hit more than Spence has. His defense may be a little bit more vulnerable.
He likes to fight in exchange.
Yes, he likes to bang. But even then, Spencer's not this one-hitter quitter type of guy either. He knocks his guys out by, constant pressure and, he punishes.
Systematically breaks you down.
Exactly.
The thing too is Crawford. The thing that nobody talks about Crawford is his physical strength, because he's really matured into a really solid welterweight.
Right.
He's the only guy I think at welterweight. Maybe not now, but for years I thought he's the only guy at welterweight that could kind of like not allow Spence to muscle him on the inside, because that's the one advantage he normally has over everybody. Crawford's very physically strong. People forget that this guy was like a wrestler. Like he's like really good at wrestling and stuff. So he's really good on the inside and not getting pushed back.
I mean, he looks like a thin dude, man. And bro, I've seen him deadlift over 405 pounds. So he's a strong guy.
Well, in this fight, bro, Spence, coming off that big accident that he had, recuperating, etc., doing his physical training and all that stuff, physical therapy, him fighting his first fight, Danny Garcia. A lot of people say it's a tailor-made tune-up fight for him, but still, Danny Garcia is Danny Garcia.
Yeah, he's a good fighter.
And then beating him, getting through him, and then fighting Ugas, that says a lot about him. He's a dog.
But I don't have no disrespect for
Crawford been
Spence. I have no disrespect
I like
for him.
Crawford a lot
I like
too.
Spence too.
But Crawford, who has he been fighting, bro? If you think about it, yeah, 140, but who?
But
Postal?
Well, he fought anybody that was in front of him.
But again,
and he beat them all.
I mean, he's
in
got
impressive
common
fashion.
opponents with Spence.
Porter.
So who do you think has the better resume? You think Crawford has a better resume than Spence?
At 147 overall.
No, at 147 is Spence.
It's definitely Spence at 47.
Overall,
though.
I think Crawford's resume is actually pretty underrated. People like to trash his resume because it doesn't have like the name value that Spence has. But like you got to remember, Crawford, the way he got known was when he fought was it Prescott on 2 weeks notice.
On 2 weeks.
On 2 weeks notice. Then after he fought,
and that fight was at 140, if I'm not mistaken. It wasn't at 135.
Yeah, he went up in weight. Then he won his world title in England against Ricky Burns. Everybody says Ricky Burns isn't that good, but Ricky Burns was like the best guy in that weight class at the time. Burns had a close fight before that fight with Ray Beltran, who people thought beat Ricky Burns. Crawford then, after beating Ricky Burns, fought Ray Beltran,
Right.
Postal, Felix Diaz is another one.
Postal was on a wreck on that moment. He that was
destroyed
his best
Matisse.
time. Yes, he was on a wreck.
I actually interviewed Crawford the week of because I went to Hank Lundy fight when he fought Hank Lundy, and I remember I asked him about fighting Postal, and people at that time were talking about, Crawford's not gonna fight Postal, and I asked him about it. He's like, man, that's just for they're just saying all that for show. I'll fight him, and then he fought him and he whooped him, and then now
he whooped his ass.
Postal's a nobody, right? But then Postal fought Jose Ramirez, right? And he gave Jose Ramirez all he could handle.
Right.
I think the output of Spence's jab is going to play the big role in this fight.
Listen, man.
it could.
That jab.
It's a great jab.
That jab needs to be on point consistently. Keep on pressuring with his high guard.
He needs to get to that body. He had to get to that body too.
He needs to get to that body too.
I do think Spencer's a better inside fighter. I think that once he's inside, he can do better work.
And he's going to be the bigger fighter in there. Yeah, he's going to be the bigger fighter. Now, strong, I don't know, but
okay, there you go.
It's true, but big, he's going to be the bigger one.
Yeah, he's bigger. He's a bigger man, naturally.
And that also plays a role. What happens when he's pressuring Crawford?
But if you're bigger and not stronger, the size means shit.
Yeah, but that volume punching. And one thing a lot of people don't say, Crawford's face swells up really bad. It swells up.
No,
He gets
not
touched up
really.
in his... Yeah, it swells.
No, when have we seen him badly swelled?
He really hasn't had nobody like Spence. So when Spence gets in that ring
So now you're just making an assumption, because when have we ever seen Crawford swelled up like you just said?
I'm gonna prove you that night when they fight.
But you just said that he swells up easily. When?
Yeah, he does. He
Which fight?
He always has lumps.
Where are the facts, bro? When has he been swelled up?
Do I gotta take out the pictures out right now?
Bring him out.
I'll bring him out right now.
I haven't seen him swelled
I'll
up.
bring him out right now. I got you.
All right, bro. Look, this is gonna get into a hot conversation. Keep looking for that picture, but I have a better question for you.
Go ahead.
A fight that really is happening.
Okay.
And I respect Plant and Benavidez for making it happen.
Mm-hmm.
Who you got? That's a tough one, man. That's a tough one.
I'm a huge Caleb Plant fan, but if I remove my emotions, I think Benavidez is gonna beat him, just because Caleb Plant, he has this thing where, like, and you saw a bit of it in the Canelo fight, when he really starts getting touched up, he not to the degree of a Zach Parker, but kind of the same problem. Like, the way he reacts to the punches. I just think because Benavidez his walk around weight's like 220. He's a big kid. He's like 220, 230, something like that, going all the way to 54. Or no, yeah,
75.
68.
I mean 68.
68. So he's a naturally bigger guy. I think Benavidez is a very rangy guy. People always get enamored with the combinations and stuff, but he's a very long guy for the weight class. So that's gonna force Plant to have to kind of get a bit more on the inside. So he's gonna have to try to. He's not gonna beat Benavidez just by outboxing him. He's gonna have to actually kind of get in that pocket a little bit and pick his spots and do that. So I think he's gonna get hurt, and Benavidez probably gets him out of there like in ninth round, championship rounds.
That's the same way I feel, man. I do think Plant's gonna do his thing in the early rounds, though. He's a good boxer, so.
This is what's gonna happen when they fight.
Let me see.
But what happened to the swelled up? What happened to the swelled up
Hey, can you zoom into that? You can't. You're not gonna be able to see it. This is what's gonna happen.
Errol Spence with the belts.
Errol Spence with the belts. That's
But my question is, where is the swelling up?
Yeah,
you couldn't find it.
These belts.
I've been looking. I've been looking at his phone for the past 5 minutes. He couldn't find one picture of Crawford lumped up. Because you were wrong. You don't want to admit you were wrong. Crawford doesn't get lumped up like you said he does. It doesn't swell easily. It's never been a problem in his career. It was just some bullshit you were trying to find because you ran out of things to say.
Just say you like Errol Spence, man. Just say it.
Just say
he's gonna beat him. Bro.
Just say
he's gonna beat him.
If it happens, I'll come back.
Oh,
I'll
100%.
Yeah.
And one thing that we forgot to talk, going back to the fight.
No.
The longer the fight takes, the worse it is for Spence. For
Crawford.
How?
He's gonna get. Oh, he's old. He's 35.
Oh, you mean the longer it takes to get signed?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant in the fight. I was about to say.
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't know about that one though, because Terence Crawford's a disciplined athlete. He doesn't really drink. He lives the life.
Spence be drinking.
Now Spence, on the other hand,
he had that accident. Where we don't know if it affected him mentally. I mean, look at the mouthpiece issues. So you're right about that. But now, age-wise, yes, Crawford is the older man. Yeah. So we don't know. But we're on a different topic now, bro. Yeah. We don't want to keep hurting your feelings.
Spence, they already know.
Benavidez, Plant. My man here got Benavidez. I got Benavidez. You got Benavidez, right?
Like you said, I like Plant on
I like Plant
my
too.
heart is saying Plant.
Me
man.
too.
We're on the same boat. It's an emotional thing, yeah.
But the mind's more powerful. my mind is also...
He became Bruce Lee.
Out of nowhere.
My mind, obviously... I don't think Plant's gonna be able to withstand that pressure from
what I will say though about Plant is he got a new trainer and Stephen Breadman Edwards, who's a very good coach. He's the same guy that coached Julian Williams in that Jarrett Hurd fight, and I kind of feel like this fight style wise has some similarities to Julian Williams versus Jarrett Hurd. So I feel like he's got a good coach in his corner to come with a good game plan and give Benavidez some problems. So I'm looking very forward to seeing what they do.
Yeah, no, but like I said, I think the early rounds, I think Plant is gonna give a shit ton of problems. The problem is that Benavidez doesn't stop with his pressure, and Benavidez, believe it or not, is always in good shape for some reason. He may miss weight or whatever, but the dude can go 12 rounds at full throttle.
And come fight night.
Exactly, and
huge.
He's a big dude.
He's gonna be huge.
Yeah, we already spoke about that. He's a big dude, so yeah, he's gonna come full throttle 12 rounds, and like you said with the Canelo fight, that was a good fight to go based off of. A smaller man doesn't throw as many punches as Benavidez.
Not as long,
does, not as big and long. Also, when he fought Uzcategui, he rose to the moment, and he really did his thing. But when that big name came, Canelo, and the whole force behind the Canelo name, I didn't see him rise to the top. I didn't see him rise to the moment.
I think he was doing great.
Yes, he was doing good, but he didn't rise to the moment like he did against Uzcategui.
Like he was good, but there was something missing.
There was something missing. When he fought Uzcategui, it was Plant at 100%. The way he was throwing his punches was not the way he was fighting with Canelo, and Benavidez brings that force, that those demons with
So-
him. He brings it, and I don't know if Plant will rise
So
to the
if
moment.
Plant comes like how he fought Uskataki, how you pronounce his name, 100% like that, you think he beats Benavidez?
I think he has a chance. I think it's a 50-50 fight if that's the case. If not, then I see Benavidez.
I mean, if he doesn't get hurt first, I think Plant could hurt Benavidez.
I think that those guys.
His power's underrated.
I think
his
anything
power-
above 160, any of those guys can hurt each other.
Yeah.
Those guys.
Well, no, because people say Plant doesn't have any power, but as we saw in that last fight with Anthony Dirrell, he doesn't.
But it's really the shot you don't see coming.
Yeah.
And you can tell that. Though usually when you throw that double, it's bam, bam. But he did it like boom, and he went weird, and he waited a second, and then he came up.
He took it he dipped a couple inches.
Yeah. He
got
dipped
some leverage.
a few inches, and he took an extra second, and Dirrell did not see that coming.
Do you think Benavidez makes weight?
Yeah, I think so.
That's the fight within the fight right there.
Because what happens if he comes in fucking at 170?
I think he will, because
I'm pretty sure Plant's gonna find him heavy though. For sure, $1 million each fucking pound, some crazy shit. Because
oh yeah, no, of course, but no, I think he will.
That's another factor. What if he doesn't?
We all agree though, Benavidez.
I think Benavidez is gonna win.
My heart,
my heart and my soul with Caleb.
We're all in the same boat.
But my
all three
mind
of
is
us.
like, oh,
yeah, facts. Now,
damn.
yeah. Hey man, before we wrap this episode up, man, I want to ask you for a fight, man, for somebody that trains locally here, and we're both pretty big fans of him. Michel Rivera has a tough fight. I don't care if shit what nobody tells me. It's a tough fight with Frank Martin.
Yeah.
And Dominicano, shout out to Michel Ali. I love that kid, man.
Michel Rivera,
I love him too. Love him too.
He's a good fight, very special fighter. He's a good fighter, but. Give me your opinion on that fight, man. You know, what holes do you see on both guys, and why do you see who you see winning?
I'm still trying to figure out who I think's gonna win the fight. Because if you ask me on different days, I'll give you different answers.
Right.
I think Michel Rivera has one of the best jabs at 135. He can win fights just with his jab alone.
Yeah.
The only problem that I really see for him in this fight is that he throws the jab at the same speed. So like I could see him outboxing Frank Martin multiple rounds in a row, and Frank's like really explosive. Like Frank knows how to counter in an aggressive fashion. So that's what Michel's gonna have to look out for. He's gonna have to really, I think, feint and disguise the jab different ways to keep Frank Martin off balance, and you know just show him different looks. I don't think he could afford to fight the way he's fought against like other fighters he's fought and get away with it. So like right now, I'm going with the slight split decision for like Michel Rivera, just barely, but just because I think his reach and just his jab, because I've seen it in person, this shit is crazy.
His reach is gonna play a big role in that, in his jab, but like you said, he needs to use that jab at a good speed. Not that he kind of uses it like a lazy jab. He needs to be more faster with it, more explosive. Use feints. Have Martin thinking, not having him, you know.
Just change the tempo of it a little bit, and then you'll be able to offset a lot of what he does.
I don't think it's a lazy jab. I just think it's the same jab.
Yeah,
it's just same repeated jab. I don't think it's lazy because it's solid
jab. It's a consistent jab, kind of like your boy Spence.
Hey, no,
but it's effective.
Yeah, no, so, definitely.
It's effective against the competition that he's been fighting. But anyway,
same thing goes for Crawford. What he fought?
Hey, Crawford has a lot of tricks.
Hey, Michel Ali, man, we're talking about Michel Rivera.
Michel Rivera, man, I agree though, man. I think the size will give a lot of problems to Frank Martin. One of the problems though, when I study the few fights I've been able to see him when he fights southpaws, is that foot placement, man. It's terrible.
Talking about Rivera or Martin?
Rivera. Yeah. His foot placement when he fights. No, Martin is gonna be an expert at that because he's a southpaw. Yeah. But Rivera, man, his foot placement is terrible, and he's always in that line for that left hand. He's been hit by left hands multiple times. Granted, until now he's had a good chin, but Frank hits hard, and that foot placement is horrible. Every time he throws that jab, his foot is always on the inside. If not, they step on each other. That's not it. That's not great because that left hand, you being a southpaw, you know that left hand is coming. So I see that being a big problem. Can he take the shot? I don't know. But those points keep coming up, keep rallying up. So I think it's a 50-50 fight.
It can go either way.
It could go either way, right? I am going with Michel Rivera, but I am also biased. You know what I mean? But that flaw of the foot placement bothers me a lot. It bothers me a lot because his left hand is right there.
My question too is his chin, because I can't remember which fight it was, but one of his last couple fights he got dropped.
Where John Fernandez,
he got dropped by him. So
it was more of a slip though, more like they had their feet
it wasn't
tangled.
really like he was hurt. Really, it wasn't.
Yeah.
But
But Frank can punch though.
But Frank can punch.
I seen him when he fought the dude that Ryan Romero Duno when he fought down here on the Ortiz undercard. The dude can crack.
Yeah, no, he hits hard. I mean, and they both fought Jerry Perez, and he stopped Jerry Perez.
Michel also hits hard too, though. He has a solid right hand, and those uppercuts are nasty.
I think Michel has that respected power. I mean, I don't think it's like a lot of people have been saying he doesn't pop. I think he pops. I just don't think he pops as hard as Frank Martin.
Yeah,
that's just my opinion. We won't know until fight night.
I think Michel's game plan should be to box him. Use his jab, his long jab.
Remember, he's a southpaw though, so that boxing stuff could only go so far. You know, he needs to impose his will in that fight.
Yeah,
he also needs to bite down too, and show that he's a man too. You know, I mean.
But that's what I'm saying. By biting down, are you working in camp right now on your foot placement, on fighting southpaws? I know his whole camp is fighting, sparring southpaws, but are you working on those little things that you're those little flaws that you have against southpaws? Because at the end of the day, we don't fight southpaws every day. Yeah,
he's a consistent fighter, but like I've always felt like watching Mr. Rivera, there's another level he can get to. So if he's ever gonna get to it, it's gotta be a fight like this. Because the winner of this fight, I think, is gonna get lined up for Tank next.
And one thing too, I'm pretty sure they're both disciplined, but man, Michel Rivera right now, he's sleeping in the gym right now.
Yeah,
he's sleeping in the gym.
Yeah, but Frank Martin's over there doing sit-ups with your boy Errol Spence.
No, I think that discipline shit. I think they're both in the same.
Yeah, but still though, it just
I hear you, but Frank is very disciplined.
He is.
Yeah.
He is. And they both started late in the game.
They both started late. I think Frank Martin started a little later, actually.
Yeah, and they both know what's coming if they win. They both know that tank fight.
Yeah, they're both going to come a full throttle. I see somebody getting dropped. I see that fight being more dramatic than people actually think.
And talking about tanking Hector Garcia, that's going to be a good fight, too.
Yeah, it's a good fight.
I like Hector Garcia, though. I think he can put it out. I don't see it happening, but it can.
I think it'll be a good fight for a couple rounds.
I think
that's a tough fight, man.
It's a tough fight.
It's a tough fight because this guy's a natural 126, 130 pounder.
That's the thing.
And although Tank is also a natural like 130 because he's very small for 135.
He's punching way above
power.
Yeah, his power ain't
for 140 level, maybe 47. He hits hard. So.
He hits hard and he can set it up, and he's a smart fighter.
So who are your top 3 fighters right now?
In all of boxing?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I want to hear from True Sport, man. Who's your top 3?
We got to wrap it up. I believe, we're past our time. But, yeah, give us a top 3. Give us a top 3.
Pound for pound. We got Usyk. I'll say Usyk, Naoya, Inoue. Oh, man. I know I won't put Crawford there, but he's been inactive, so Bivol.
And give us your all-time favorite from back in the days.
My favorite fighters of all time, or just back in the days?
Just one, but back in the days, all time.
Riddick Bowe. Yeah.
For sure.
But ever, Romo Gonzalez.
Chocolatito?
Yeah. My favorite.
Cool. That's your favorite?
Ever. He's fighting this weekend.
I wouldn't say it now. We couldn't talk about that fight. I'll be for another episode. That's going to be a good fight.
Yeah, that's a dope fight. Nah, I mean, I think he's a dope fighter. He's awesome.
It's my opinion, but to me, he's the best fighter of the post like Mayweather era.
Yeah.
Like he's done, like to me, like he's consistently challenged himself the most, and I feel like at the championship level, like he's performed the best. Cause like any fighter can get knocked out in a fight, but like he's not getting outboxed 10 rounds like Canelo does. Right. Like I just feel like he's been at
what killed him is the weight division that he's at. It's not popping. It's not popular.
Yeah, but neither was the weight division below it or the one below that one. This the weight class.
He has no choice. He's a small guy.
This division, that 115, in my opinion, it might be the best weight class in the whole sport. It's up there. I mean, it's like if it's not the best, it's the second or the third.
You're saying it because Bam Bam is there.
You got Bam. You got Chocolatito. You got Gallo Estrada. You got the Japanese fighter Ayoko, who was the first 4-division champion in the history of the country.
But at the end of the day, when you say the greatest, to the pure boxing fan, but. No, I know. Regular fan
Joe
base,
Schmo, who doesn't know anything about boxing, he's gonna say these small guys, these midgets.
Yeah, I want to see Canelo or Crawford, and so But to me, the most complete guy after Mayweather was Crawford, in my opinion. I think. Crawford
I'm saying there may be fighters that are more complete, but
your favorite?
No, not my favorite. But as far as a combination of skills, resume, performances in championship fights, nobody's
he's consistent.
Nobody's challenged himself more than Chocolatito. When he moved up to 115 from 112, he fought Carlos Cuadras, who was 35-0, undefeated with no tune-up fights, and beat him. First 4-division champion in the history of Nicaragua. Aguero didn't even do that.
Yeah, 100%. No, I agree, bro. Hey man, when can we do something like this again?
You have my Instagram.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
I had a great time.
Nah, man, we had a great one, man. For real, man. I was dying to have you here, bro.
Yeah, I was dying to come.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you for coming, my brother.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, and shout out to TRU SCHOOL SPORTS, man. People don't know, man. This is the founder right here of TRU SCHOOL SPORTS, the best boxing journalist. Man, you have a lot of shit coming, man.
Oh, a whole lot of stuff.
You got a little project coming, and you want to let people know?
I'm working on a couple things. Like right now, outside of like TRU SCHOOL Sports, I work with Sean Porter. Actually, we have the Amateur Boxing Champions thing, which is like he's starting an app and a website. It's just dedicated to amateur boxing. So we were out in Colorado Springs recently. Me, him, Sean Zattel from Fight Hype, who's another really good journalist. We were out there interviewing some of the elite amateurs from Team USA. We were supposed to go to the Nationals, but I'm not sure. He hasn't hit me up yet. I don't know if we're still going to that, but I'm working on that with him. As far as TRU SCHOOL, I got a couple things I'm working on. Like I don't want to say what they are, because then if I say what they are, people might take my ideas. So I'm gonna keep some of those.
Keep it in the bag.
Yeah, keep it to myself.
Yeah. We'll see it when it pops out.
Yeah, but no. Other than that, there's always content on TRU SCHOOL Sports. So just go there. I'm trying to get to that 50,000 subscriber mark. It's been a long time coming. So hit that subscribe button and definitely subscribe to ANDSTILL. We need to get them to 100,000.
100%. We both got to get there, man. But
us being from South Florida, we're gonna rise together.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. I'm gonna keep supporting you, bro. But hey, man, subscribe TRU SCHOOL Sports on Instagram. That kid from Dania, right?
Just a kid from Dania.
Just a kid from Dania.
Put it in the bottom.
For sure, man. Hey, but man, this wraps it up, man.
Wraps it up, baby. Stay tuned.
Thank you guys for viewing. Please subscribe. You got something to say, big dog?
It was a fucking pleasure having you here, man.
But that's not what I meant. Like, you got something to say?
Like what?
Like about, Spence getting his ass whooped?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, man. Please subscribe.
You already know who I'm going with. Spence is going to take it.
If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. The best is yet to come. Peace.